Hi guys, it's Nick, the ASMR nerd, and welcome to another episode of Relaxing Reviews. I am quite excited to be doing this today because it's been a while since I did one of these review videos, and I've got a variety of items in various states of review that I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you. And today I'm going to be doing kind of a mini review, I suppose. It's going to be a little bit shorter than my usual. What I'm looking at today is a gaming collectible from a new brand called Indie Section. And what Indie Section offers is collectible lapel pins based on standout indie games. And you get this collectible pin along with a Steam key for that game. In a sense, it's a little bit like Indie Box. You know, you might have seen my review or some of my unboxing videos with Indie Box. It reminds me a bit of Indie Box Lite in that way. And similar to Indie Box, Indie Section works closely with the developers of these indie games to produce an exclusive collectible, something that you can only get through Indie Section. And so when they contacted me and asked if I'd like to check out their product on the channel, I said absolutely. I would be very happy to review it, to take a look at it. And so I'd like to thank the kind folks at Indie Section for sending along the collectible that I'm going to be reviewing here today. And their very first lapel pin that we're going to be looking at here today is for the game Pony Island. And now, I've not played Pony Island. I imagine some of you probably have. But I gather that it has a very kind of sugary, sweet, candy-coated, innocent exterior that it presents. But as you play, you quickly discover that there's something much more sinister going on, that it perhaps involves the devil. So I'm keen to check out the game. I'm not going to be playing the game in this video here today. This is going to be looking just at the collectible itself, the lapel pin, and the presentation and packaging and all that. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Pony Island lapel pin from Indie Section. So this is how the Indie Section collectible arrives in the mail. It's just a simple, plain cardboard envelope. There is no Indie Section specific branding or anything like that on it. This is opened because my girlfriend didn't look at the name. She thought it was a package for her, and so she just opened it. But it doesn't much matter, really. Anyway, simple cardboard envelope. I'll turn it around. I'm gonna just make sure all the address information is covered. It does say fragile on this side. I don't know if any postal workers actually heed those kinds of warnings, but there it is anyway. Can't say they didn't try. It's got a cute little stamp on it. Oh, maybe you can see it there. It's Puffins. It's a Canada stamp. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. Point is, very simple, plain Jane envelope. No padding either. You can see. It's just the cardboard. Okay. Let's take a look at what's inside. since that's what we're really here for, isn't it? As much as this envelope does make nice tapping sounds. Okay, that's quite enough of that. So, this is the item. You can see on the front it has the name of the game stamped in foil. It says Pony Island. And down at the bottom there it says Indie section. And presented right on the front is the pin. This cardboard slip is a kind of a matte black. And it looks like it opens up. Indeed it does. And inside, it looks like we've got a few little items. Why don't we take a look at these inserts first. Put this aside for a moment. So on the interior here, we have, I see, a little ticket that says Pony Island on it. And I assume this must somehow relate to the content of the game because, as I said, I've not played Pony Island, but I guess it's a reference to the content. On the back, it just has some indie section branding. So it's a nice thick cardboard. So I guess that's a little game-related collectible item. And then this card that says Pony Island on it. A little bit of, oops. With a little bit of art on it. And I just realized when it fell there that the back of it actually has the Steam key on it. So this is how the Steam key is presented on a little insert card. And it has a little bit about the developer on the back and an exclusive fun fact. It says, I'll read them to you. About the developer, Daniel Mullins created Pony Island over the course of a year, expanding it from a 5-minute game jam entry into the final experience while working in the games industry as a programmer. The game was his first major success after releasing a few mobile games and launching a failed Kickstarter campaign. He's now working on another narrative-focused indie game called The Hex, which diverges from Pony Island in aesthetics, but shares many thematic similarities. So that was the about the developer, and then the exclusive fun fact. Let's see how fun this is, guys. You can let me know down in the comments. Rate it on a scale of 7. The name Pony Island came out of a rapid-fire brainstorming session during the Game Jam in a search for the most innocuous-sounding name. Other candidates were Dolphin Garden and Panda Circus. That's kind of fun. That's sort of a fun fact. I don't know. I'm not sure which of those is more innocuous sounding. I think Dolphin Garden sounds pretty darn innocent. Then again, so does Pony Island. Anyhow, and then the only other thing on the back is that Steam key. Can I cover this up and show it to you? I'm gonna try. Yeah, there we go. There, so you can get a feel. Just has those paragraphs on the back and then the Steam key underneath. Okay. And then the final item, or the final insert at least, is this indie section card, which looks quite nice, I guess, with the black and gold theme, but it just has a little thank you on the back. I'll read that to you as well. It reads, "Thanks. Thank you for supporting indie games. Indie Section was born from the minds of game industry veterans that have a passion for collecting all things gaming. We curate our favorite indie titles and design custom pieces of art that bring our love for these digital gems, into something that you can wear or display with pride." And then at the bottom here it says, "Show us how you display your indie section pins." It's got some social media stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the main item. So we've seen the front of this, and I'll remove the pin, and we'll examine that in a moment. On the inside, we have a little scene with what looks like a cute Satan saying, "Howdy, friend." And green hills, blue sky, yellow sun, in this pixel art style. Again, this would probably mean more to me had I played the game, but I will try it out, of course, now that I've got a Steam key over there. I've heard good things about it, though, of course. And then on the back here, it has the studio, Daniel Mullins Games, which we just read about, of course, on that insert card. And by studio, I mean the developer, who's one guy. But I imagine it would just have, whatever the studio logo is. And then it has the indie section branding down there at the bottom again. And the idea is that this cardboard slip can double up as a stand for the pin if you want to display it that way. If you don't want to put it on a thing, you can just leave it like this, or you could pin it to the inside and just have this sit on your shelf, for instance. So let's take this off of here. So the pin is, of course, all metal, as you can see, and it's pretty hefty. It's nice and solid. It's quite colorful. And it looks like it's raised a little bit, like this is sort of embossed, I guess, slightly. And the design that we have here for Pony Island is this very happy, cute-looking devil, hands on his hips, smiling, and he's on this kind of shiny gold background. And the back is just this textured metal with a pair of pins for affixing it to whatever. And it's my understanding that these are all exclusive designs, so you're not going to find this pin anywhere else other than from Indie Section. And I think that will be the case with all of their collectible pins. And then the pin affixes with these little rubber nubs. They just go like so. Just one on each pin there, and they're pretty. They feel sturdy, like they feel like they'd stay on if you had this pinned to a jacket or a shirt or something. I wouldn't necessarily pin this to like a t-shirt because it is pretty weighty. I feel like I might kind of pull the shirt down where it's sitting, but maybe not. But certainly on a jacket or a lapel or a backpack, it would be a good fit. You can see there, it's pretty decently thick. It's a solid chunk of metal. And then, should you so choose, you can do this. And display your newly acquired collectible wherever it might be, whether it's on a shelf or on your desk or what have you. So, bring these items back in here just for a moment. There we are. So let's reconvene here, and I will do my conventional rundown of the pros and cons of this package, and I'll give you my my judgment on it, let you know what I think about it, quality and the value. Let's go do that. Alright, well, here we are at the end of the video, and this is where I customarily recap what I liked about the product and what I might not have liked so much about the product. This is going to be a really quick recap section today because there's not a lot to talk about, really. It's a fairly small package. But let's start with the good. So the first thing that I really liked about Indie Section's Pony Island lapel pin was the presentation. I thought that it's really nice that they provide it with this cardboard slip that doubles as a display stand-up kind of thing. And overall, I just thought the aesthetics of the package were really nice. It felt nicely presented and like a premium collectible product. The second thing that I really liked about this package was the quality of the material used for the pin. It's nice and thick. It feels very substantial and like it's a high quality product. And there were no signs of any manufacturing blemishes or anything like that. So the pin itself felt pretty darn good. The third thing that I liked about this package is that these are exclusive collectibles. So you're not going to be able to get these pins anywhere else. And if you see one that really tickles your fancy, then you're going to want to jump on it because this is the only place that you're going to be able to find it. And I appreciate that Indie Section works with these indie developers to produce this exclusive collectible. And now on to the less good stuff. And for this, I really only have one point to bring up. And that is that this is too expensive. These lapel pins go for $15 US. And obviously the value proposition is going to vary based on the game that's included with the pin, because if you have a $15 game, well then I suppose you've paid for it right there and you're almost getting the lapel pin for free at that point. But the first game that they've put out here, Pony Island, is a $5 game on Steam. And you could probably get it for even cheaper than that on a Steam sale. And what that means is that you're essentially paying $10 US for this lapel pin. And while it is a very, very nice lapel pin, I don't know that it's a $10 lapel pin. That just seems a little bit on the expensive side to me. I think $10 for the entire package would be a very fair price for this product. Now, I should point out that if you buy 2 of these on Indie Section's website, you get $5 off, so it's $25 for a pair of them, bringing down the individual price to $12.50. At that point, I think it's becoming more reasonable. And everybody's conception of value is going to vary based on how much they like the collectible. I have not played Pony Island, like I said, so I don't have any particular attachment to it. But just from a purely objective standpoint, I think that at $15 US, these are a little bit overpriced. Now, all that being said, it is a very fine product. It's a lovely looking little collectible. There's no subscription required or anything like that. You buy these just on an individual basis. And I am very keen to see what other games Indie Section produces these for, because there are certainly a number of indie games that I would be a bit more enthusiastic about and that I might be willing to drop the money on. At any rate, I think this is a really cool product, and I'm quite interested to see what other games Indie Section is going to be giving the lapel pin treatment. I'll certainly be keeping an eye out on their website to look for personal favorites, and it is a well-made, well-presented collectible. I think Indie Section just needs to consider revising the pricing slightly to improve that value proposition. And again, as I mentioned, that's going to vary with the game, because if it's a $10 or $15 game on Steam, then that certainly improves the value proposition up front. I'd like to thank Indie Section for sending along this collectible today for us all to take a look at. I really do appreciate it. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I certainly will be doing more of these relaxing reviews in the not too distant future, so that's something that you can look forward to. I hope you found today's video informative. I hope you found it relaxing, and I look very forward to having you back here next time for another episode of Relaxing Reviews. Bye for now.